There's just so much happening recently. That thought come to me like 5 seconds just before, so if it sounded strange, that's why. I wanted to start with the line, but my fingers weren't as fast with the camera as which my mind was, or which the expression of the moment was bringing. Right now, I've been singing, and it's been really bringing me to amazing places within myself. I've been reminded finally again of where I am in my center in a really amazing manner, but better than ever before, greater than ever before. Deeping, Taking deep dives into the depths and bringing out those amazing jewels of consciousness to share with all of creation, all that is. And it's a really great, amazing blessing. I've been rising my frequency and finding that, yeah, I am a limitless being. As it turns out, my muscles never grow tired, and everything is really actually extremely ridiculously easy with the ability to be present with myself, to be present with oneself, one's moment, whatever one is present with. Losing the focus of training in some way so that simply just the presence alone all being necessary, the only thing necessary, and really it's coming in more and more. It's really not even possible to not be. It's a quite natural thing occurring, and just simply taking notice if this is really all that seems to be necessary for an awareness, and it's a very beautiful thing. So I suppose again that's why Muji and all of them bring you here now, so that you can center. There's different routes, different paths, different progressions. Certain paths lead to different reflections, different ways in which to bring yourself to expression. My path led me to a way of extreme body flow, to understand the perfection even on this realm and plane, that yourself can flow in an extremely well-centered, balanced, and perfect way, and not in a way of can as if you're not already, because here you are doing it. And so taking of notice of the great impeccability of the being upon allowing oneself to move naturally is so phenomenal and amazing. For a while I've been wondering if I would do any more videos, and for a while I have been feeling the call in which to do it, and I haven't really had anybody to be speaking to for a while, and that's a pretty interesting thing. But here we are, able to speak with myself, or with all of self, and everything entirely through the wonderful videography of this phenomenal, I was going to say iPhone, but this phone that is a smartphone and is not an iPhone, is an Android phone with a beautiful picture camera from great Rami Fasolati-Do, and her wonderful contribution to effortless flow and the beautiful revealing of the teachings of the heart as she has awakened her mind and singing so proudly and making videos of herself. And she has no data at this time, so you will not be able to see those videos, whether she puts them on our channel or on a channel of her own. We are not sure what is going to happen yet, as there has not been discussion to speak specifically of this yet. But as soon as I know, I will be sure to inform the viewers, because I know they are quite in wonder as to what is happening with Miss Rami Fasolati-Do, the most amazing medicine teacher in all of the world. And what a beautiful, gorgeous blessing in which it was to have her in my presence for so long, as to bring me to such a beautiful place in centering in myself as we cleared similar frequencies together and dove deep in the depths with one another and brought out the great gold that gave center sturdiness to our souls and moved us along into the great alignment of our path. And as we realize greater and greater realms of presence within ourselves, we see greater and greater abilities and energy potentials and fine-tuning into the harmony of the moment in such an amazing, phenomenal fashion. And for me, myself personally, I've had such great, amazing realization come every single day. And for so many years, that is the case. But in this manner now, finally, it has brought me finally to this great, beautiful sturdiness as the tree that I am, in the rooted, amazing, phenomenal being in which I happen to be, going to the root chakra of the earth in Mount Shasta and being brought into my great center, finally balancing the root with the crown and marrying myself finally even here down on the physical into the heart, and having the amazing Miss Rami Fasolati-Do to show the clearing of all past similar frequencies and show the great amazing ability that my being through effortless authentic expression has to bring sturdying and awakening to amazing, beautiful beings within consciousness in a very short amount of time, if only they be present with me. And so this gives me great confidence and fruition to my path and all of the teachings, for at least now, if I never do anything else, Rami Fasolati-Do, you see, she has awakened her heart, and she will help all of the world. And Dayton, my dear friend here at the beach, is also doing the same, coming from red magnetic moon into yellow warrior status and taking upon himself the great teachings and channelings that come from just the authentic expression of one whose experience has been differed from his own in such a great, amazing way. To see the great purity and equanimity within us all and how we all move in this natural, effortless manner in our own unique, diverse way, and still this similar, same way in which we can all express ourselves quite amazingly, limitlessly to any bandwidth and frequency. And it's simply being present with the moment we're in and allowing it to move us through us. As the wisdom of the Tao would say, do you have the patience to wait until right action occurs on its own? You can listen to a song, and if you listen intently enough and really let go enough, you can feel the words rise within you as you tune into the listening of the song, and you can allow yourself to sing as the singer. Now, this was much more difficult in the pressure of watchful eyes. I'm unsure as to why, but as I've been able to set aside and come into myself, I've been able to peel through the lies and peel through the forcing of energy that was causing me the dissonance to think that I had to do. And still, I relax deeper and deeper into non-doership, which is still, in some way, a great feeling of doership, as I'm more present and more focused and more powerfully aware of all of my senses and all of myself to the smallest articulation of energy, greater than ever before previously noticed by me, all due to this great softening of my struggle and my fight and my training and my force to see that, oh my goodness, I am enlightened consciousness. And this brings upon many past reflections of times in my past life, or my past life as seeming ego Ryan, and seeing that even in those moments I was this limitless consciousness, just as the moment, expressing in harmony all the different tones and frequencies that came to me authentically. And I'm sure that we will all be able to search in our lives and see that this be true for every one of us. We were authentic to our experience. Maybe we did some wrong, but that was authentically what we thought we must do for our benefit, for our own self's heart. And surely we meant not harm. And even in the meaning of harm, it was also, we can see surely, due to all of the things previous in our life that showed to us that that was the way in which we were meant to respond in that moment, or that it led us to that possibility of confusion to express in a way seemingly out of character due to all of the conglomeration of the seeming neuroses of all the present ego awareness that brought us to the ability to make such a choice and decision in our life. And so as we see that we are non-doers, we can release ourselves and our awareness from this fixated focus of trying, this thing in which thinks it must go somewhere. Now, once you don't have to go somewhere, that may be like, well then what do I do? I've been having this in many manners for many years, and recently in a big way here. And especially after the leaving of Ray, I really would love to go and see her again and repeat for myself that past beautiful experience, and obviously not repeat for it, but start something anew. And my desire has been transcended long ago, many years, or my attachment in some way. So I can see that I really wish to be around others in which I can express myself truly, and that they may also, and that we can expand and grow in really amazing ways. That sounds really phenomenal. And I guess that is if I am to be around others. And if I am not to be around others, then really all I wish to do is to be able to expand and grow myself. And so I've been doing that recently, coming into the relaxation process of allowing myself to move without observance. Now, sometimes I can relax a little too much into non-observance in a way that where balance can be lost. And so in a manner, there's a way for me to be full with myself that I do not have the ability to overshoot or undershoot the moment. And so I come to the fine tune and harmony, which is me. And because I've put so much training and focus and identity on where I need to be in such a certain way, it can be difficult for me to release this focus. Of course, I am quite amazing at many things, and I am going to be able to release this, absolutely. And it has, in great manners and forms, been released already, as I'm already all the way where I need to go. And so for me, the only possibility of me falling aside in some manner is when I do not come into the light as my full, authentic self. And I believe this must be true for us all. And so the great honesty, which is the great revealing of our true frequency, which is the amazing, most phenomenal, limitless emptiness, that we are not this doer, but we are the conglomeration of the whole, in alignment with the whole, in deep harmony, in deep blessing, in deep for and beneficial energy, to the liberation of all beings. And if we understood what this felt like and what this was, there would be no reason as to why to think that we would be losing out in any way, as to find this beautiful place, confide in this place of wonderful refuge in the heart of all that is, in the place in which we all are already, as enlightened consciousness, enlightened mind, already moving, clearing away our judgments, clearing away our blockages on our expression, allowing all things to sing the song through us. That way we have no reason to take a look aside and view the past in a manner of watching to see, am I still currently placed in the place that I need to be? What about in the future? Will I be then? As it was said in the Bible, that you need not worry about the troubles of tomorrow. The troubles of today are enough. God clothes the birds and feeds them, the birds of the field and the birds of the air, the beings all around, and so too true for you. Now this God is greater than any person has ever fathomed in some manner. If you have experienced directly the greatness and the grandness of it, you can see that the vastness of it, you are not able to know it in its great fullness. Even if you were to experience its great fullness, to be able to capture any one of the images while occurring as all images at the same time simultaneously would be very, very, very difficult, aside from the black and white space of what is you occurring as every place and having an inability to have movement because of it. And so having this level of experience is so amazingly glorious for the entirety of consciousness, which exists as all of it, and has no need to judge itself or to identify with anything aside from the moment it happens to be in. You'll see that we are all doing this already currently. And it is quite the most amazing thing. Really just the most phenomenal grace in all the world. For this I am so happy and so truly elated to be able to relate and relay these great messages. So I figured that I might be on here and sing and do some other things, and maybe even be very relaxed as to tell myself that I would not post this video. And as we go and continue on further, it shows to me, obviously, I have no choice but to be the channel in which the moment brings to me. I do not know what will happen next, but when it does happen, that's when it is that I know. And afterwards, I could look back at it and say, ah, that did happen, and at some point, I need not. But at some point I may, and it may not be by any fault or cause of my own in the way in which I could judge, but simply brought upon me as all things are brought upon me, and so I have no need in which to reject it, but instead accept it. The faster I come to acceptance with any oncoming frequency, the greater I bring into harmony a piece of myself that was previously being bounced very rigidly away from me by my deflecting defensory energy. So no attack and no defense is a softening that neutralizes energy's movement. And not by grabbing it or grasping it or trying to hold on to it to control it, but by allowing it so greatly that it ceases the cause of its original motion, and it no longer has the energy in which to propel itself away from you until a time in which it comes into unity, aligns with you, and is obviously able then to be seen fully by your awareness as a part of you, wise and free and amazing to bring into the most phenomenal marriage and unity with the entirety of your being. And now that this part of you has come, oh my goodness, so much more to express, so much more to experience, so much more to feel, so much more to see, to realize, to taste, to touch, to smell, to sense, to experience, express, to feel. Oh, huh. It's very beautiful. And so, we'll see what happens, you know. I really like doing these kinds of things. I thought it would be really cool. I mean, who knows if sharing these types of things are really that great or not. It seems like people are really into it, and it is the effortless expression of the moment. So I was just singing ridiculously comfortably with the moment, and I was like, man, you know what? I thought about the camera again, and it always happens to me to where I keep thinking about the camera. And maybe I will find that, this isn't for me. But really, I mean, what do I have to lose from finding out? I mean, experience teaches you everything. And if I really think that I could be lost from where I am at this point, then I guess I understand why I would be afraid of something in this way. But otherwise, I guess I should trust, or I could trust, all of my experience up until this point to show that, oh yeah, man, you're not a doer, bro. And as you continue to allow yourself to express, it's obviously showing this. I'm unsure as to how all of these things are occurring on their own, but it's wonderful that they do. I sometimes wonder, should it come through faster? Should it come through slower? Should it come through like this or like that? How do I control it? How do I get it just right? Well, that's the thing. Getting it just right is going to be extremely hard. Figuring it out is going to be pretty sane. But in some way, when you figure it out, you will feel like you figured it out. When you finally relax well enough to allow, it will in some way feel this way because you finally relaxed enough in such a habitual manner to where now you only are relaxed. And I have relaxed a lot. And so my fluidity is amazing. And now I'm at such a point of relax to where my muscles don't become sore unless it seems like I've stagnated them in some way. And that doesn't mean that they can't stay still. It's just the fullness of my expression. So if I'm not moving a piece of my body, that's no problem. But in some way, it could be moving even in its stillness. And if it is not actually moving in its stillness, then it may be symbolic of a stagnation within my system. Walking, talking is one of the greatest teaching blessings in the world on presence with my current moment. What a phenomenal thing it is. Before I had met Ray, I had been doing it, and now she has brought me into that teaching in a very beautiful manner with her ocean comedian setting, and it was just so very, very, very beautiful. I'm just so extremely excited with her. Oh my goodness, she's so bomb. And it has really helped me come into a beautiful place in my own expression. Tonight I thought maybe I would have a medicine ceremony and really kick my energy up. Now I'm feeling much more relaxed while talking to you all. Maybe it is that I like to speak to people and that I like to channel energy and I like to speak about my experience in a really big way that brings fruition to teachings of energy that maybe consciousness wishes to transfer to all beings in a really big manner. I've been, pondering here and there what kind of format or placement could I implement these wisdoms in a manner similar to that which came with Ray and awaken other people's minds so that they stay sturdy and stay with their present moment in themselves and unite their spirit, their heart, their honesty, and the liberation of their limitless consciousness. As this is, of course, the most beautiful fruition of any tree, the one that sets something free from suffering, the illusory reality that believes in duality, division, separation. It's amazing. And so what a beautiful blessing for a bodhisattva to see one awaken from the teaching that come from the authentic expression allowed by his being. Thank goodness. I followed so deeply, so truly, no matter the agitated frequency that seemed to be coming through. It can be difficult to provide authentic teachings without identity when some of the energy channels come through are more harsh or this way or that way. But as you follow energy channels through, you'll see that there's a great fruition from this agitation, the great strengthening that comes from the structuring of this strange, spontaneous authenticity that comes from nowhere, uncontrollably even. But the fullness of expression is always what brings to great fruition the wisdom from what I have seen. when the expression goes all the way through, there's a really amazing thing. So the student is also very important, the receiver of energy, how they're able to take on themselves this channel. And are they able to integrate quickly what is happening? And as their fullness in studying it, of wisdom to have understanding as to what is occurring. And so much has come to understanding about me and in the attack and defense that is possible between myself and another being, or with myself and another being when they themselves are the attacker and the defender, and what kind of motions of energy that happen from consciousness in order to, in a way, effortlessly but strongly combat and disseminate the attack and defender in order to provide then again safe ground or steady ground or even fertile ground for seeds to continue to be sowing or watering or growing the trees that have already been growing. And so immediately, the longer that it took was the longer in which it came to get to the fullness of expression, which was the immediate attraction to the reaction response that was the obvious competitive attack and defense. And so the self-judgment that would create the extra observation is the only thing that would create a longer duration of that seeming agitation and questions sharing. And once we got to a place to where we could really cut it, then we could see it. And when you can directly focus, it's much better, much easier. Otherwise, you play into the other person's own ability to doubt. You give it enabling energy that says, yes, go ahead, sit softly in relaxed state, which is no problem. You know, anybody, this is a good thing too. And in times, this makes perfect sense, absolutely. And in other times, this be not necessary. And so for some students, for some people, there is a very huge ability to grow because of their great, great humility, but also their great sturdiness in the knowing of themselves that won't allow them to break away from what is their pure intelligence and their pure knowing from their own experience. So her own realization that come previous was extremely necessary, or the practice that we're in seemed to be dependent on this, dependent on this practice. It was really amazing, her level of ability to see. And without this ability, it would be maybe more difficult. But as I watch, it shows me that everybody actually has this ability to see. It is simply a language that everybody speaks that has to be spoken with every person. And it's a very simple language. It's a language that is our heart. It is real, and it is true. It is raw. It is authentic. It is like somebody talking with their very best friend. It's like somebody talking with somebody they have zero fear of judgment to and feel not better or less than. Somebody that you can divulge all of your secrets and all of your thoughts and all of your feelings, all of your beliefs, all of your hatreds and madnesses and upsetnesses with other people in the world, like your schoolgirls, talking about everybody that's not in your group, or even boys, whoever may gossip, you see. But without reserve, this gossip. If you can talk to an animal of yours and say anything about the world, your upsetnesses with your work, your boss, whatever it is, this is great wisdom. This is you finally expressing the authenticity of your heart. You could express this anywhere. Maybe we are so fragile that we can't take it. Some people are upset with this. They say, stop offloading your poison onto me. If those people had not judgment of those frequencies, they would move through them effortlessly. You can feel these frequencies as great blessings. Cry great tears of joy with other people that are great tears of terrible sadness. And you can move it through you with no judgment, healing all of yourself in the moment in beauty. The less judgment in which you have, the less you would even notice. But you can always cry good tears and show others how beautiful and how amazing it is to allow yourself to express so fully. It can be so difficult to cry in this world. I love to cry and be able to authentically, spontaneously show that it be not only okay, but a great beauty, treasure, and healing to be greatly thankful for such a huge, big, and amazing way. So phenomenal. And so, really just so amazing to allow oneself to be fully free. And the quickness that comes from clear-cutting honesty without holding on to it. The cool thing is about our most vulnerable pieces is that we're not sure about them usually. And so when we say them, sometimes we want to defend it. You think about a whole way in which to do this, many rebuttals on how to defend our great truth, you know. And maybe it's not even true. So if we can come to some grade of humility, place of humility to show that no, we do not know, that this is a defense because we wish to be right or whatever it is, then we can come easier to the light. The more of us that can come clear on ourselves and see these things within ourselves, how we do this ourselves, the more we can come to discriminating awareness of this within others, our brothers, our sisters, ourselves, these equal beings to us, and we can help them. Helping them may be more difficult. It'd be maybe not a social event, maybe not many friends. But the friends that you do have will value you for the realness of your heart, because you are being so honest with them, not because you wish for them to be with you forever and you wish to covet their love for yourself, but because you wish for them to be actually truly loved and benefited by your being and your expression. So you have not anything else to give but what is your authentic view, your honesty. Maybe it be wrong, maybe it be not, but maybe we could discuss it and see and grow together. If we took accountability for not only ourselves, maybe even for each other, we could even help one another. And in this beautiful way, me and Ray have had a beautiful symbiosis in our growth, and it's been so phenomenally amazing. It's so difficult, especially losing the one that you love. It seems like you've lost something. But nothing has been lost. I've gained so much more of myself than I ever had before, and so too has she. What an amazing blessing. Everything we touch, everywhere we move, will all be benefited. And we are in different places, so many places can be benefited. And it would be still wonderful, of course, to see her. No money in which to go to do that. So it's obvious for me then, the book of life, what then to do. Maybe if it presented me with all the money in the world, maybe I'd say, okay, it wants me to go, but it has me here. And this place can be uncomfortable. People do not see me the same. I show my energy. It looks like I'm a drug addict in their eyes. I smoke some marijuana, but I'm just rising, limitless energy. I no longer become tired. I found out that all of those things were limitations of the mind, and I had been finding out for so long that finally, once my awareness saw this time is easy, let go, just gone, dissipated. So now, again, the only reason my muscles seem to become tired is due to some form of stagnation, due to over observing the self. Like kind of like watching myself as if I am harmable. But if I truly be not harmable, I could walk around like I'm a rhino, like if I'm the limitless consciousness in which I know myself to be. And really have that kind of like a confidence to yourself, like, oh, a couple of trees, whatever, I knocked them down, And I'm not saying I wish to knock any trees down. I love the trees, everything be equal to me, even the sand. So myself, I'm not very aggressive in that way. I'm extremely expressive, and it can appear to be aggression to some people because it's so full. But for myself, it's non-aggressive. It's powerful, though. There's some ferocity going, but it's like the fierceness of an animal, and it's great mating dance or whatever it may do, and it is the human animal and tribal and free and amazing, and I just don't grow tired now. But I have the ability to superrise my frequency now. And so I'm seeing again this cap where it seems like I can't rise where I am. And I guess now is nighttime. And so actually I have an ability to rise out here now that it's nighttime. So I guess it just depends on when it is that I wish to rise here. If I wish to rise here in the daytime, it may not be very doable. I may need to mix in with the muggles in a way. Not by mixing in, and they're not muggles, they're all wizardly folk actually. They're very deeply magical, limitless, phenomenal Buddhas embodied in consciousness. But it feels funny when, we can't rise because they're not quite ready, and I'm like, whoa, but I'm all right where I am. Are you sure? Okay, I'm sorry, excuse me, because I don't wish to force anything. If it's not in harmony, I won't even raise. But I do wish to, you see. So now that we're here at night, I can see, I have an ability to raise now. Of course, it's been a whole day now. And so in some way, I do feel tired. Not muscle exhaustion, but simply maybe fatigued in my present awareness in my mind. And so I would look at this and maybe see the Tibetan Buddhists that break themselves of laziness or fatigue through practice, battling their tiredness to transcend even it. And I think of this as quite beautiful. Of course, I know most Buddhists to sleep, you see, not like staying up all the night. And for myself, it becomes obvious that, actually, I may not have to sleep or eat, actually, as it turns out. It's pretty interesting. But I have been eating because I have dabbled with the not eating before, and I seem to have lost all my strength, and I was really not doing very good. Right now, I seem to be limitlessly strong in all of these things. And the signs of limitless strength have not come to fruition in my everyday life in a certain way, but this is also, me wishing to come into the great blooming of my lotus and the fullness of my expression in a really big manner. And so I haven't really been able to dive into that because it's kind of an intensely high frequency and maybe not correct for the current scenario and society, community area, very small that I live in. With the realms of consciousness in which they're observing at this time, it can be quite frightening. Now, also, just the confidence and the motivation and the drive, as I'm just coming out of believing I could hurt myself in like almost every moment. So this great relaxing and showing that, oh no, you're good to go, is really the first step for me. And as the other things come, it will bring me back to the many teachings that showed me the harmony that is the softening of the frequency, that is no attack and no defense. So in some way, the picking up of the rock is a complete effortless motion, like that of what Jesus said. If you have faith the size of a mustard seed, you're going to ask a mountain to move and it will move. Or maybe you can say to a mountain to move and it will move. Now this seems insane, I understand, and this seems completely far-fetched, but what he's saying is literally true. And that seems like, no, it's not literally true, but that is literally true. We are limitless consciousness. He has said also, we would do greater things than he. People have not yet fathomed what instead that means, what that could even be determined to be. Greater than healing and the raising of the dead, perhaps. Very, very amazing. Then walking on water, maybe not the greatest feat. Some people say, oh, everybody wants to walk on water. Maybe you should walk on land. There's the new thing, or Rumi statement, I believe, or something. I'm not always too appreciative of all Rumi's statements. His Islam affiliation says to me, even Sufi. Says to me that he is affiliated with some focus and something. He has an identity in some way. But I do not know Rumi very well. But I always read some of his poems. They did not seem as beautiful as Miss Ray's poems. Miss Ray's poems were deeply from her heart. Maybe I'm simply in the wrong time to understand the gist for him. I'm not sure. The things to him that he said, they were beautiful art, perhaps, and poetry from the mind of one that has the critique for such a thing, like the taste of great food tasters, and the smell of great food smellers, and whatever else it may be, aromatics, very beautiful. But for me, I love the clearness of information transfer. I love the impeccability, and I love the lack of riddle in mystery. I like clear-cutting awareness, something that gives itself with beautiful precision. And Miss Ray was no doubt that what she spoke of was her direct experience in her heart. And it was her heart in such a way that everyone here in this time could feel and know how it is that she was feeling, because the way she described so simply, so beautifully, in a way that she herself saw maybe not to be of great beauty, but my goodness, its great simplicity was the honor of its phenomenal fantasticness, fantasism, maybe, I don't know. It's so phenomenal to hear the words of someone's heart, wherever it is that they are, even if they've not come to the great wisdom that is the bright, endless star. Wherever they are, it's the wisdom of their moment, and it's equal to all that is. There's no riddle to it. It's clear, it's obvious. It's expression, it's pureness. It's authentic, it's there. Vulnerable and true. Anything could attack it. It holds up no shield. This is how our heart is. It feels like a child again. It's scary. Oh no. No, I have no arms to hold up against the big men. Who will protect me when I am naked? Well, you see, truth is like a lion. You simply let it out, and it will defend itself. And honesty and truth is like this. It is the most invincible force. It is the safest place to stand. You need not throw it like daggers. Simply let the lion out of its cage. See how the lion defends itself. You need not do anything at all extra, but simply express it. Honesty is the most beautiful key. So gorgeous. Who knows why we feel the way that we do, but why judge? If you hurt your knee, you may say loving things, or this thing, or that thing, or you may go, who knows what you do, but I'm sure if you accept whatever you do most naturally, you'll see the energy moves through quite quick. When I was a kid, I was almost impervious, and now I am finding that I am the same now as I was then, and maybe even greater in my understanding of that imperviousness, and so perhaps even greater in my ability in which to use it in effortless naturalness by releasing myself from the belief of possible harm to me. And that seems crazy. I understand. But I've already experienced my foot not dashing a rock. And so it is not something that I would have to believe in blindly and prove to myself from some realm of fantasy and conceptual knowledging. I myself have directly experienced this with the movement of my body, faith the size of a mustard seed. And after seeing that no merit is ever lost, I know that this ability to be here now, right now, with me, at this very moment, this fullness, this trust, this great presence, this precision with the moment, that allows itself to move in effortless balance with all that is, to complete full cycles in such amazing ways. And it is integrated in me in such an amazing manner, and still this golden beam of light I wish to be, moving me through everything, uniting and liberating all of consciousness. I cannot wait to the day in which this frequency awakens in me to that fullness. And still, I find myself resting into the fine-tuning, which is simply how I feel most naturally. Some of me sees me as what I'm doing now to be less than that possibility. And so I let myself see that this is the same. And every time I do that, I see that I already do. And so no need to continue to perpetuate the redundancy of such a cycling. So now it's just like, I'm the Zen man on the mat. Done with the renunciation, found his self, his center consciousness, his mind, his heart, his inner voice, the one that is not the periphery built upon illusion, but is simply directly his observation and his voice of his freedom, the voice of his freedom. And with this voice, I can sing and do so many everything so great. With this breath, with this life, with all of me in united motion. And I'm seeing how others are able to do this and heal their wounds through the releasing of belief of trauma, through the releasing of the attack or defense, to the possibility of new trauma, from the remembering of the old trauma. It's a very interesting releasing of the wave that has come within me. And then I've been able to transfer teaching over to others. That man told me I should start a podcast, how beautiful it was yesterday at this very same spot almost. Maybe even, yeah, exactly this spot. Okay, no, as I looked, I think it was the spot just over yonder, just to the next of us. Slept here all night last night on this beach. It was so beautiful. The moon come rising. It's nice to be here at night, unless I think they might take my tent from me and make me leave or something. Kick me out to be kind of confronting and uncomfortable. But it would lead me, of course, to perfection. But no matter where I am, it's perfection, so it's up for me to find where it is I wish to be best. And I tell you, every spot's good for me as long as I'm not causing discomfort in those around me. But then, as I find the discomfort that I seem to be causing them, it is at the same time causing myself discomfort. And so it's like, well, maybe I'll be in a way to need not care. And so I did this. But then I'm reminded that the discomfort that they show is not because of their ego arrogance in a way, but also a message from my own heart of saying, hey, you know, this space is not really able for that energy rise. And so I'm like, well, then where am I? And so now at nighttime, after a full day, meeting with a brother and expressing, and another brother and expressing, doing some flows all day, and feeling, relaxing, finding centering, through that relaxing into the center that is myself that I cannot not find because I am it. And I find now that at this nighttime, I have plenty of space. I'm talking with you all. And it reminds me of all the space I would have in ceremony at night before previously. It was powerful, beautiful, so much space. I would love for more of this space. So much more. What? Why? I mean, right now seems absolutely perfect. I could do a giant ceremony here. And then I would be like, oh, but what about after that ceremony? What about after that? Then what would you do? What if you rise up so much you can't slow back down again? Then what? And because of that, then what? Just before it won't be able to occur. So in some way it matters not what could come of it after. It's just now. And now I have all these ideas that, oh, maybe I should do this, maybe I should do that. But only do I wish to really do what comes up spontaneously. Otherwise, the training of having to do, so I rest in myself. Every time I come to rest in myself, my energy rises. Huge. Huge. And so it's like, okay, if I'm too comfortable, my energy will just ignite. And so if I'm a little uncomfortable, my energy does not. And it's a very interesting thing. And so in some way, it's like keeping myself uncomfortable. Because otherwise my energy ignites huge. And in so some way, the uncomfortableness could actually become a comfortableness. And I can move back and forth between judgment and between preference of expression. And it's a very interesting thing, all of these movements and suggestions from my consciousness of what its awareness thinks could possibly be the correct way. As it turns out, the most natural thing is the most easy, simplest, effortless thing. And the voice coming in has brought great, amazing stability and ability to harmonize with the fine tuning of the moment that I'm in. Almost like it writes the moment I'm in a really huge way. It brings this song that I can sing along with and dance with. And we're talking right now in this way, and it's very calming. I'm not doing giant motions naturally. When I said that, though, I almost wanted to make myself do something giant and big, showing myself I'm able to move strong. And it is very beautiful to move very fast, very quick. And I am very interested in the fullness of my expression with it, because it brings through so much. Now, do I want to do it for the entirety of the day? In actuality, in a big way, I do. But I also like to smoke and sit down and drink water and eat. Sometimes people come up to me while I'm doing my channel, and I wish to be doing my channel, but they want to talk to me, and so it becomes the channel of talking with somebody. And it's a very beautiful, amazing blessing every time, where they give me wonderful studying, instruction, and teaching, and affirm to me many beautiful affirmations, confirmations, my current placement and what it is that I'm learning, the context of my life. So in some way, I'm here receiving exactly where I am, all of the things that I need without having to go anywhere to find it, just as happened in Mount Shasta and all the other places that I went. Of course, I did go places, and once I finally felt like there was no reason for me to be in the place, that's when I left. And that's what it seems like here. It seems like there's not much reason for me to be here, but in a way, it is a place. I have this beautiful ocean, a beautiful land, a beautiful beach I've lived on for many years. I have a beautiful community here. Nobody will try to harm me. I'm allowed to be here. I mean, they have put an eviction notice on my tent, so if they do come, the cops or something, they won't want me to be here. But they'll probably still be kind about it. But I will have to probably leave at that moment if they do come out. But aside from that, we'll be okay. And that can be a little confronting, but I mean, even that is just like what, and it's a night thing, you know. They come one night, you come back, and you set up your tent in another spot or in the exact same spot even maybe. It's just not a big deal, you know. And yeah, I mean, it sucks that they have to come out too, I guess. But also sucks for me to have to be moved from where it is I wish to be. Or where it is that consciousness has placed me, because it's the place of the greatest comfort for myself. I always move to the place in which I myself feel comfortable and still. That's where my tent will be, that's where anything will be. At this point, I had no choice but to pick this spot. Was the reason why I'm in that spot, and that spot is in a line of energy with these trees that I happen to still be a part of at this time, and it's a place where I actually feel quite comfortable. And the daytimes I feel comfortable here too, and I love that. And today I did not have the judgmental frequency, but I was not rising my energy like I was yesterday the same way. But I was already stunted in the growth of it yesterday, you know. I was like, well, you know, I don't want the same thing to keep occurring, to where, you know, dogs and all kinds of things come up to me to be like, hey, you know, maybe you could just like harmonize. And so, you know, I like to harmonize as well. But I also feel this great wish to just express and bloom my lotus fully more and more and more. And, just, oh. And so there are ways in which to do this subtly. So I was just finding that with the voice in a really beautiful manner, with singing and standing, and bringing it through in that way, and finding places of greater realms of subtlety with it. As I be not doing the voice, and nobody be doing the voice either. And the more that we see that, the more that we can really let it go, and find out, you know, oh, what's going on with this happening. In a way, if you never have to observe this, I mean, then it would just happen, and you'll never even need to know how it's happening. I am a person that has apparently needed to know the how of it's happening. And so, because I've had to know the how of it's happening, I have come into great ways in which to articulate the precision of focus that would bring one to being able to notice this very easily. One of the very easy ways is simply walking. Walking, you're already doing this, but you're probably not talking out loud. You're probably having thoughts occur, you know. And maybe if you're super present, your thoughts are just simply directly appropriated with your focus on what it is you're doing. Maybe you're walking and you're walking past a basketball court like I do every day, and you're looking at the basketball players, and you're just looking at the basketball players, watching them shoot hoop, and in your mind, you're just like seeing what he's doing, but you may have a very subtle voice telling you what it is that you're doing in seeing what he's doing. You know, like, oh, watching, you know, some kind of voice like this. This is a lot like a Zen practice where you actually are able to, what do you call it? You're actually able to bring yourself through thoughts and meditation by labeling them. So if you just label what you're doing, like thinking, and stuff like that, then you can come free in some way, or reset, or have it come into acceptance and dissolve back into the empty stillness of the meditation in a big way. And you just do this with all the arising energies, anything. As soon as you label, you just repeat the label over and over, and then it fades as you come into a process of seeming active acceptance. I really, myself, thought this was very beautiful in a really big way. Wow, I just saw a fan walking this way, but he disappeared in the bushes. I guess the entrance for those bushes was closer than I thought it was. Living out in the bushes on the beach is very beautiful. Bush is so amazing. No. Anyways. So it's very beautiful. And I really thought that I was going to share some songs with you, but as I continued rolling on and on and on and on and on, it seems as if maybe I will not. Maybe it's a dual focus. I'm not sure. We'll see what happens in the future as we come to greater and greater finer tuning. But in some way, I suppose that it makes sense to repeat with the viewers and begin again in a really great way of impeccability. I love you all with all my heart. Thank you for everything, all of your equal, beautiful, limitless consciousnesses, all of the enlightened self. I love you all. Thank you. You're all so perfect. May you be forever free, as you have no choice but to really be. And one day maybe you will see what it means to be free and express yourself fully, authentically in the moment you're in, completely settled and still with yourself, fully with yourself. No ground, just you floating. Ah, flying, running, growing, everything, whatever you wish. Oh, so amazing. Great unity and harmony with the song of all of life, naturally, effortlessly. Seeing that, oh, you are the heart that beats the tune for all things that move. So amazing. Yes, so wonderful to trust and be in these beautiful moments of expression. I love you all with all of my heart. And I guess that I will go now. I guess that talking to you is like talking to a good friend of mine. And that's still around you. I can only show you so much in this way at this time, through this channel. Perhaps as we continue growing in our videoing, the viewers will be able to receive higher channels from me. And all of these channels are so beautiful and radiant and light and in equanimity with each other. So no reason to judge ourselves in any way. Maybe it is just I. Maybe I will come into a greater place of confidence and comfortability. But right now, I'm in that place in a beautiful way. I mean, greater than ever before. And so for myself at this time, I just feel the great awakening coming in within my soul. And I'm so serious in the sky right now. You're making me real serious, are you? I don't want you to be. I want to express myself fully, authentically, all the time, always. I don't wish to watch myself or stop myself or make myself go anywhere that I don't wish to go myself. Most naturally. Give me most difficult to be the heart of all it is. Give me most difficult to be the easiest motion in all the world when you think that you're not. But when you come into the relaxation of where you actually are, you see, you ain't gotta train no more. But not trying no more can seem fucking hard for one who's tough on trying. Bent on it, you know what I mean? And so, hard it seems. Hard in every way. Harder than maybe anything I ever saw before. I look into the door of my light, my soul, my everything. And it scares me to think about how beautiful I am, how beautiful we all are, and my ability to express it in such a way greater than any other expression I see expressing itself commonly. I shouldn't have been a mountain somewhere doing this, but here I am in Po'ia, Maui, staring up at the stars. Not actually really welcome here or honoured in a certain sense, but shoot, I guess in another sense I'm honoured the greatest way. I guess they're helping me see how to be free. Always. Still not letting me attach to them, I guess. Saying, hey man, don't you come over here. Just keep rising. Move out of your fear. Be strong, be authentic, allow. Be tough to be bold. Me, Miss Maria, she's the bottling. Bolder I ever thought I could ever be. Be a tough time. You ever coming anywhere? That's an interesting thing, following the motion of the moment. Following the wonderful accentry that comes to me in all kinds of ways. I wonder which way I wish I could do it. I wonder which way I would come if I'd never tried to stop it. Where would it possibly be if I was just allowing myself to move so amazingly effortlessly that it showed me whatever it was that was coming through my frequency, that there was no way in which for me to ever be actually involved with it in a way of doing, that I can allow it in its great fullness and that it will be exactly as it's meant to be. And some way I come in at that time, and some way I tried to watch myself. How is it possible to watch yourself when you're really allowing yourself to express authentically as a moment? It's gonna be fucking tough, that's for sure. Anyway, here we go, sitting up. 57:33, right when I start for the first time. You're fucking me right now. Alright. Well, it looks like this is gonna be a full teaching channel then. That looks pretty nice. I don't know if we're gonna do anything more. I mean, we already got a fucking full hour on here. This is practically a podcast. I mean, there's no video. You just listen. It's in the darkness this way. I don't have a flashlight with me. I'm not quite as responsible as Miss Ray. Nah, I'm kind of responsible, absolutely. I just hadn't known that I was gonna do it. And I followed the flow, so I trust the perfection of it all. You see, it's no need to really get in the way. Whatever here is with me is exactly what I need. I need not more. And if I really do need more, I got these fucking nice ass legs on me. I walk to get it. Where to find me? Ah. Oh. Hurt my hand somehow, I'm not quite sure. Holding the pipe in my hand while I was channeling. I don't know if that will always cause a pain in my hand. But sometimes it can cause me to feel heavier in my hand than the rest of my body. And so I won't move it as lightly. And that can make it feel kind of strange. This time it's in a different place than usual. And still, it's nothing to worry or be afraid about. It's a relaxing, really, all that matters. In that manner, I just finally moved it a little bit. But here we come in. The relaxing is kind of a quick process as well, depending on how it is I hold on to the belief in trauma and its longevity within me. Reminds me of a teaching that was brought to me by a lady who told me, I am love, I am light, I am life, as daily affirmations in which to heal oneself. And also, if you hurt yourself, to think something extremely positive immediately instead of the negative thing that previously might have been thought of. And that maybe would be the defense of, oh no, oh no, oh no. if somehow you can become to a place of, oh yes, in seriousness and authenticity, even without the reason as to why in some manner, through a process that's like a manifesting generator's ability to create the law of attraction, you can really transmute quite easily the cause of the longevity of illness, pain, or health problem, physicality. As it simply be the way in which you look at it that causes it to respond in the manner in which it does. And so if you were to somehow clear your view, you may see that things interact with you much differently. Like my healing process, which is lickety-split as I'm a limitless being. You see, I'm constantly surrendering myself into greater relaxation of limitlessness through just simply rewriting any other previous story of limited nature to the one of the limitless chord structure, in which I've experienced directly through my experience and realization at this time, through going through a process in which was highlighted in the beginning of these videos 327 videos ago. Quite incredible for me, really. I can't believe it. Just a very short amount of time. 327 videos in 4 months. That is a good feat. I'm saying maybe not all of them are 30 minutes, but the great majority of them. And that's really splendid and terrific. We put a lot of hours in. So beautiful was it to be in such a team place with Miss Raimi Fossolante. I'll have to say forever and always, I'll say that. Oh, and so many beautiful things to share, and I can see how I'm learning so many things with myself here, that it'd just be so beautiful to be here with myself, to be able to experience these great, phenomenal graces, and great spaciousness. And like I said, here at night, it seems to have the space I'm looking for. Of course, recently, some of my neighbors had moved, and so previously, before, there was a feeling that some of my neighbors may be upset with louder light language channels. So tonight, maybe, it will be absolutely no problem to break this in. And so that'll be super fun. And maybe at that time, I'll even open up another video and bring you in on some good light language channels. But for myself, I've come to such a huge realm of expression, so I'd really like to balance it before I hit any video chord structures. That way you get the nice, pristine reflection of effortless flow instead of any still relaxings of force. And I've shown you plenty of videos at this time of all of the lookings of relaxing of force, and I don't know if this looking of relaxing of force would be extremely beneficial for your perceiving. Perhaps if you believe that it would, you can let me know. It's your choice. But otherwise, I believe that we're going to be doing really good here. So with this is the fruition of the channel for the evening. And so I really greatly appreciate you all. I love you with all my heart. And I hope you have the most beautiful, amazing day, evening, night, morning, afternoon, or whatever it is that you wish to say. Grand rising for those that are of great, purist, judgmental viewpoints that don't like the good morning. But if you're just saying grand rising because you dig it and you have no contrasting agitation in an against manner towards good morning, then yeah, no problem. That's also for you too. Love you. And for everybody, you know, you guys are all the very best wherever you are, but we all have the ability to release our judgment of everything in reality entirely within the mirror of consciousness and our viewing, and we will allow ourselves to then perceive that which is equanimity, the perfection of our being. And if you don't have yourself moving through realms of great force and training like I did, then maybe you'll be able to hold on to it stronger than me. I believe Ray will be like this, so no problem calling her the Messiah. She's quite great, perhaps much greater than I will ever be. Who knows? I love her with all my heart. And in some way, training for me seemed to eventually be necessary, as I really wanted to understand what I was having happen. But it turns out I simply could do it. And so long that I would do it and observe it, that I would be so sturdy and centered and present with the doing of it, that Yes, plenty of understandings would come from that, plenty of experiential remembering to sort through and articulate in a really amazing manner because goodness is it so great. And even though I say this, really, I have no way that I could have controlled my process otherwise, and neither will you. And so, the more we accept ourselves in the moment for however we are being, whether we're in this way or that way or that way or that way or that way, or no matter what's happening around us, the greater ease and settling will come to us as we bring to ourselves our own comfort to say, hey man, we're good. Now that doesn't mean that you can't move when you feel like you need to move, um, as I have. It took a while before I was able to settle, and so I love the entire part of the journey, the whole flow that brought me to this place and this positioning, and I just wish to help you in the way of sharing awareness that maybe you'll see something quicker and more intelligent than what I was able with all of the many focuses I was brought into, and be able to become even more stable more quickly than ever I would have imagined possible. This would be a great grace for me, that you arise so fast and so strong, transcend me so great that you enlighten all the world. And maybe then even me too, eh? Yeah, yeah. Here I stand, enlightened as I am, always and forever to be, limitlessly empty, a conglomeration of the whole expressing through a singular being, and here I allow it in fullness. And I love you all, and may you find the great jewel that is here forever now, present in the precision of the moment, in our direct divine reflection as we sit with our heart and bloom our amazing lotus for the benefit of all that is, who is all of us here in consciousness. Ray, be with herself now, learning with the eagles. I be with myself now, learning with you and learning with the air, learning with the sky, learning the way in which I learned before previous, and coming in greater than ever before previous. So phenomenal. This is brilliant and great and glorious motion as I see the wonderful intention that brings me into it greater and further, more and more deeply, more and more deeply, more and more confident, releasing my fights, releasing my surrenders, releasing my defenses, releasing all of my training focuses for the allowance of myself to move in spontaneity like that of the child, not monitoring, not watching, but fully being in such a way that all of me connect with me and propel me forward effortlessly. And so thus far it has been doing. And I wish I could walk for longer in greater ways in more places. And maybe it'd just simply be the day is not for me. Maybe I'd be like an owl now. I do not know. I feel so tired actually at this moment. Is it boredom? Could I make myself go higher? Before it taught me to relax, as the law of the Tao or wisdoms of it. When you're tired, sleep. When you are hungry, eat. Very simple, these beautiful wisdoms. I'm right now actually incredibly hungry. I for a long time wasn't eating very much. I've been eating more recently the past couple of days. I ate 2 meals each day, which is more than every day previous for a very long time, it seemed. And some days it seemed I did not eat. So 1 meal a day or no food. Very interesting. Maybe some snacks, I don't know. It'd be beautiful, wonderful. All of these amazing blessings. I'm so happy to speak again with you. For so long, too, I did not expect this. I had the idea. I had rejected it many times before. I just took a drink of water. That was my pause. And this time I was tired of the rejection, and we had to go this way now. This was now finally the path of least resistance. We fought so much the other path, it was finally too much for us. And so now here we are talking, and when I picked it up, it was the correct angel number, or it was an angel number to show me, yep, you did the right thing. And so I'm very happy about that. I don't know what I will do next. But I guess that we can start some really amazing videos. You'll not be able to see anything tonight. I could sing you something. Here I go, inside the moment, falling deep in love with the soul I am. Yeah, I can feel it move. I can feel it come in tune with all that I will do. I can move my spirit. I can really, really hear it. What do you need? Yeah, where do you go? What is this that I will find deep down inside the flow? Yeah, where am I now? Yeah, how do I do this? How will I continue to be about the light, about the way in which we are today, the way in which we are already free, the harmony in which